Hey, fat fish heads! It's time for another edition of the hottest new podcast on all platforms, Fat Fish. Sit back and strap yourself in for the wildest ride on the open seas. Now, flap your fins for the fabulous Fat Fish brothers, Eric Fish Snyder and Brad Grunny Grunberg, a.k.a. Snacks.
Hey, we're back. Oh,
we're back.
Number
we're
7.
Back, buddy. We're back and better.
We always get better, right? Every week.
Every week we get better, buddy. Every
Yeah.
week we get better,
Every
man.
week we get better.
Yeah.
Did you put gel in your hair this morning?
I just watered it down because it poofed out, man. It looks like, my hair looks like in the 70s. You'd like, remember Bernie on Room 222 came out the year?
Yeah. I'm friends with him. His name is David Jolliffe. By the way, say poofed again. Say poofed again.
Poofed again.
Yeah. No, I like when you say poofed. That was
poofed. It poofed out. It poofed. Sorry for the layout, guys. Brad looks like he's blown up a little bit, and I look skinny. But sometimes the layouts don't always coincide with who's. Brad doesn't look that big, and I don't look that small.
No excuses. Come on.
Hey, we're gonna get spiritual today, but you said Eric Fish. My name is Eric. I have this story about Dr. Phil. This guy, right?
Yeah, that's him.
Let's hear. I'm gonna keep him on there while you talk.
Okay, so this guy is one of the biggest jerk-offs that ever lived. The biggest con man. He conned Oprah into getting him on. So basically what happened is my friend Dave Lerman, he has since passed away, God bless him. Him and his sidekick, Doug Beatty, went to school in Michigan, and they came out to LA to be comedians. And Doug was in a wheelchair. He had muscular dystrophy. And they performed with Sam Kinison because Sam Kinison had a bit where he would call people. I don't know if you've ever seen Sam Kinison. Now you call people and say, "Why did you break up with Shirley, you mother?" Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Well, they brought Dave and Doug, and they went all around the world with Sam about how Jerry Lewis made all this money and Doug wants a new wheelchair and Jerry hasn't kicked down shit to Doug for a new wheelchair. And Sam Kinison went nuts on Jerry Lewis. It was hilarious. So Dave has had substance abuse problems and drug problems and stuff. And I was very worried about him. So I took him. I called up the show. I filled out all the shit. It went to the producers and they said, "We want you on the show." So there I am, 5555 Melrose Avenue. I think Mom worked there and your dad, I believe. And we were on the old Arsenio Hall stage, and we were the last of the cases, or of whatever Dr. Phil was going to help us with. So before us, this woman. So I'm watching all the shows. I'm in the makeup in my room. The makeup lady comes in. She fixes me as much as she could. "Hey, Molly," and I'm listening to some of these stories. Like this woman found out that her husband was cheating and he was a pedophile. It was crazy. It was like, oh my gosh. And Dr. Phil is not on his game. He's dropping cards. But the only thing that he was doing the whole day was this: "Don't forget about my son's book, Time Code. It's coming out next week. Get yourself a book called Time Code." And all this all day. Fuck Time Code. Let's get to our show. So we get to our show, and Dave and I are up there. We're talking about, there's 4 segments, okay, to our show, to our part of the show. And by the way, in the audience, they're not real audience members. They're all paid background artists. Hello. Yeah. Oh, yeah, exactly. Because I knew a few guys, and they're like, hey, Brad, what's up? I go, "What the hell are you doing here?" He goes, "Getting paid." Kind of like Uncle Lumpy Trumpy when he came down the escalator at Trump Tower. All those guys, all those women were paid. So I digress. Okay, so we're doing the show. Oh my God, it was so emotional. Dave talks about his problems, why he drinks, why he does drugs, and we're crying. I mean, I'm crying because he's really going to kill himself. And Dr. Phil's job is to help Dave, not me. Okay, we go through 3 segments. And then all of a sudden, we're sitting there, and Dr. Phil moves to the side of the stage, and he's talking before they go back, talking to the audience. And he goes, Dave, and Brad, come on over here. Come on over here. Then he goes back to the stage and leaves us on the side of the stage. And he goes, I don't know about these boys. I think they're lying. What? Lying? You did due diligence on us. All of a sudden, security surrounds us. Okay, hotel security. And he goes, well, that's it for those guys. We're not going to finish the show because I don't believe a word they're saying. You motherfucker. What the fuck am I doing here? They take us down. We change our clothes. They escort us off the lot. We got in our cars. They followed us off the lot. Can you imagine being kicked off on the Dr. Phil show? And one of the producers reached out to me because he's doing a documentary on this fucking asshole, and he wants me to see the show because I never got to see the show because we never finished it. This guy's a phony. This guy's a fraud. Don't listen to anything he fucking says. Look at that fucking smile. I've made so many millions off Oprah. I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm not even a fucking doctor. He's not even a fucking doctor. Okay? Fuck you, Dr. Phil.
Take it easy. Relax. He just texted me and said, I want to fund your show and give you $10,000 a week.
He has such bad karma, I wouldn't let him fund shit. Okay?
You're out. I want to make a living. You're out. Hey, let me ask you this. Here, is this true, Dr. Phil? That's a great, I've known you. You have so plethora of stories. That's a great one. But Dr. Drew, Dr. Oz, Dr. Phil, these are all offshoots of Oprah, right? And they've all had kind of like controversies around them, haven't they? You know.
Well, Dr. Oz, he's the real deal. I think
right.
He interviewed all these guys. Remember Charlie Sheen when he got HIV? Yeah. He was on the show.
Dr. Drew, what does he do? Dr. Drew Pinsky.
Yeah, he's real.
Okay.
I've met him before. He's a very nice guy. He's the real deal. Just this fucking Dr. Phil. He's the phony.
All right.
Like you being a doctor. It's like you being a doctor bartender.
I am a doctor. I'm a mixologist, a toxicologist, a gynecologist, a proctologist, a mixologist, whatever. Bartenders, everything. Hey,
you love being a proctologist.
I love. I love the way it poofs. Yeah. So, that's a great story, man. Hello, number 78, Fat Fish. God, what great stuff about Deja last week. She was great. I want to talk to you about something that's near and dear to my heart because it just happened last night and it's getting no notoriety. I've written 2 letters to ESPN saying, shame on you. Get Up gives you a 5-minute segment. Shohei Ohtani, give it up, man. 50 home runs. Did you see his stats last night? He got 50 home runs, 50 stolen bases. Here's the stat line last night. 6 out of 6. Yep. Okay. Yep. 3 home runs, 10 RBIs, and 2 stolen bases. That's like you walking into a nightclub and pulling Angelina Jolie, okay? Jennifer Aniston, and Faye Dunaway out.
I like Faye Dunaway. She's hot.
Yeah, no, seriously. I don't understand. I'm going to ask you this. You live in Los Angeles. We're both baseball guys, Dodger fans. Is there some sort of a boycott? Why doesn't the media follow this guy? It's a weird thing.
What's your problem with what did you write in the letters? What's your problem?
I think that the Dallas Cowboys and Aaron Rodgers' performance, which is great last night, shouldn't be the top stories. This is the baseball. Baseball has been around since Cap Anson in 1858, and he just did something. And when the kid pitches, he averages 13 wins. What he does is the same thing. There's no analogy in basketball. Okay, imagine Peyton Manning, imagine any great quarterback. Imagine Patrick Mahomes throwing 4 touchdowns, and he's playing defense, and he has 2 interceptions and 10 tackles in the game. That's the only thing I can say.
Right. Phenomenal. Yeah, I love Shohei. You know why I like the showman? Because he doesn't get into trouble. He's a humble guy. He's like Steve Kerr, like Adam Sandler. These guys are humble. He makes $700 million a year. He is the most popular player in baseball. He's going to get the MVP this year. It was amazing when I was watching. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, this guy, by the way, now he's at 51-51, I think.
Right. Yeah. I almost texted you. I said, I'm watching it and I'm watching history. And then, Adam Sandler's one of the greatest people. And yeah, you talk about Dr. Drew, the opposite is Adam Sandler. You know the guy as far as people go.
Yeah.
But what he does, he acts and he entertains. This guy's doing something in the sport. And you remember when he pitches, he averages 13 wins. Adam Sandler's never done anything that's never been done before. He's a successful actor, a great person. There's a lot of those out there. Otani is Asian. He's Japanese. You have to market this if you're Major League Baseball to that entire world that loves this guy. I'm pissed off they're not doing it. But guess what?
I agree. He's from Japan. He's not from our country. But let me tell you something. What he is doing is absolutely phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
It'll probably never be. I mean, records are made to be broken, but I don't even know if anybody will ever touch this. I mean, this is fantastic.
Let's go to our memes. I got to get. I had a epiphany, which means okay.
Please don't.
No, it's not. It's not a donut. It means
Jelly?
it means I get these emails and I read them and when I show this is total truth, total transparency. When I do a meme, when I talk to Brad, he has no idea what we're doing. I have no idea what he's going to say. We think it adds more character to the show. So I thought about some philosophical stuff I want to go through because you're just a great person. I want to see where you're going to go. So I get the memes out of here. All right. I had a big problem with Nicolas Cage playing John Madden. Okay. And with CGI, I saw some of the pre-production they're doing. It's okay. Look at this guy. This is not doctored up. This is Mike Strom of the Philadelphia Phillies snacks. Look at this guy's face. Is that not Nicolas Cage?
Oh my goodness, that is Nicolas Cage with
that. Yeah, I mean, this guy could play Nicolas Cage in the movie and find someone else to play John Madden. I mean, it's insane.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that's funny. That it really looks like him, doesn't it? Oh wow.
Oh my God, yeah, I'm rooting for you. I love the Phillies anyway. I love Bryce Harper. I think this will be the Phillies and Dodgers. Yeah. And this comes from hello to Brad Grunberg from Johnny Hardline Hardison, and he says bet the Dodgers and Phillies. Well, we got 8 games left. 8 games left in the baseball season. Right. He thinks the Yankees and Detroit Tigers. That's a homer, and then Nicolas Cage here and the Dodgers going at it. So we'll see what happens there. Check this out.
This would be great. The Dodgers go all the way, baby. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch. Yes.
Let me ask you this. I had this in my high school. Did you? This is such a great. Brad's going to shit when he sees this. When you learn how to drive in high school, we went through driver's training. Remember driver's ed?
Yes.
You remember those? Remember the simulators?
Yes. Oh my God.
Tell me your story. Tell me about did you your teacher and how you?
I had Mr. Schatz at University High School. Mr. Schatz was my teacher. And this is the great thing about it. We'd sit in the classroom, go over all the stuff. You go, when you get a ticket, you go to driver's ed, and you sit there for 8 hours. Well, we sat there for a whole semester. Then we got into the cars, and we had those in our classroom. But we got into the cars, and it was so cool because there were two steering wheels. You know what I'm saying? And I did pretty well, but a couple times we had one of these. He had to hit the brake on me. But I learned, yes, that's the lost the lost class from high school. They don't do that anymore.
No.
And I learned how to drive in Mr. Schatz's fifth period. It was great.
Okay.
It was
I had Miss Washington, and she couldn't say the word wheels. If Craig Persky's watching, which he will remember this, and some of my high school cohorts or junior high school, and they would say, she'd go, turn the wolves, turn the wolves, and there.
Oh God.
And then you did this for like 5 weeks, and then you got in the car. It was a whole thing. There's 10 weeks of these courses before you can get your permit. You're right. I don't know what they do now. I have to ask some kids that I know. I guarantee it. They do with their parents, right, Brad?
No,
ask your nephews.
Yeah, they don't drive at 16. They're so lazy. They just take lifts and Uber. Get that fucking guy's face off our show.
I gotta show him.
Fucking asshole, Dr. Phil, Dr. Fuck. That's his name.
All right.
By the way, let me tell you how I feel about him. Yeah, the kids don't. I ask kids, when they're in my car, my Lyft, I go, "Do you drive?" They go, "No, not yet." And they're 18, And I go, when are you going to drive? I don't know. I just like taking Lyfts and Ubers. They're lazy. They don't want to drive. You know why?
I don't get it.
In LA,
who doesn't want to drive?
Driving in LA and driving in Vegas, it's tough, man. The traffic is unbearable. It's really tough and it's dangerous. You got to be a defensive driver now. You can't be texting. You can't be, daydreaming. You got to really concentrate on the road because people just walk right in front of you. They jaywalk. They cut you off. This one guy, you won't believe this. I'm making a left onto Rexford to go across Beverly Hills. And this guy wouldn't make the left so it would open. Because the streets now are so small for the cars they build. You know that? Beverly Hills, they made the streets very narrow. So I said, sir, and out the window, I look at him, I go, sir, could you move out? He goes, let me quote him, shut the fuck up or I'll shoot you. What? I go, you're going to shoot me? He goes, yeah, shut your fucking mouth or I'll shoot you. Guy's going to pull out a gun and shoot me because I asked him to please make the left so we can all get by. Unbelievable.
With that anger,
I didn't say a word. I just went my merry way. So
yeah, the anger. I always throw a segment. That sucks. He's like, yeah, guy's going to shoot you. Well, first of all, the bullet would bounce. So get that fucking stomach, man.
Bullet would bounce off my salami sandwich.
Okay. No, man. Get him after he got the Chick-fil-A and got the 2-for-1 special. I always want to show a meme about how stupid we are. Check this one out. This is why aliens don't talk to us. The guy's in he's got a shopping cart and he's got a push cart in the shopping cart. Like he couldn't wheel it to his own car. You see that?
He's got a push cart.
He's got a cart, like a cart that you get at Home Depot, like a regular shopping cart.
Yeah.
But he's got a hand truck in the shopping cart.
That's ridiculous. That's funny. That is.
This is great. Let me go with this because you're the comic. But I saw this is.
We don't even know what you are, but anyway,
I'm an idiot. This is the funniest thing I've seen in my life. Okay. You get it. This guy was born to be a gynecologist. The guy's name is, this guy's at Seaford Naval Academy as a OBGYN, and his name is Harold Feltersnatch. I'm not kidding. You're a gynecologist and your name is Harold Feltersnatch. That's like you and I going to a urologist and saying, hi, I'm Jerry Grab Your Dick. It's just, can you imagine what woman?
Snatch.
I love the name. That's a great name.
Great name.
But we have to start.
He got the name right as a kid. Did he ever think he was going to be a gynecologist?
That's what it says. He was born to be a gynecologist. It's ridiculous. So I always, everyone, please, Fish, start your show out with this because it gets us excited. I know this is going to be old for people, but for our new viewers, and if you're on Podbean listening, get to YouTube, get to the some of the viewing sites that we have, TikTok. Because this always wakes me up in the morning. Just look at this beautiful face. This is the first thing you saw in the morning.
I know that guy. Annie and her daddy getting up in the morning. I look good, man. I just come from the gym.
I love that. I love that face. That's a face. I can't. What's the elation there? You ever look like you just woke up? Annie's looking at you like, all right, when you get done, whatever you're doing with the other arm, you got to feed me. So. What's the look?
Well, I didn't know Annie was good. I mean, I saw the picture, and I didn't know if I would capture it because Annie moves around a lot. But when I got it. That was a first shot. It was my first shot in the morning. Just picked up my camera and turned it around, and that's what I got. And I'm just happy. Look, I have my baby next to me. I had a good night's sleep. All that good stuff. I pleasured myself, and now I'll start my day.
Yeah, that's definite. You kidding me? That's and Annie's like, oh God, I got to do this again.
I got to watch this again.
Yeah. Annie says this guy's bought more dish towels and lotion. No, that's what you did when COVID hit. People bought toilet paper and stuff like that. You went and got more lotion and towels and said, oh my God, now I'm stuck inside now for 3 months.
Who needs lotion?
Oh yeah. Well, look at that face. Hey,
I do it raw, dog.
Oh, you are, man. You are. Oh, that's a great moniker for you. I do it raw, dog, because you love dogs. Speaking about loving dogs, I saw this meme. Brad is the biggest philanthropist for animals. We love animals. We love dogs. Shout out to Ashley, my bartender friend.
Yes.
Who's my cohort at Chuck's Tavern. She fosters dogs constantly. This is so beautiful. If you could read that, Brad.
How beautiful is it to find someone who asks for nothing but your company. I love it. That's your dog. Unconditional love.
That's
You know,
it.
Annie and Molly have given us
Right
more
here.
than we've ever given them or ever will give them. Dogs are people too, by the way. You know, when I talk to Annie, she listens to me. My mom talks to Annie. She listens. She knows. Annie, it's time to do this. She comes right in. And that's the great thing, you know. Everybody, you know, this is what I really can't stand, Fish. I talk to people and they say, "Oh, first of all the kennels, all the pounds were empty during COVID." Okay, number one. Number two, when COVID ended or is still with us, but in a different way, people brought back the dogs to the pound and the kennels. Can you believe that?
No.
How heartless is that? So then I say, what is
Horseshit.
your fucking problem? They
Yeah.
go, oh, dogs or cats, they're too expensive. Too expensive. Let me explain something to you, pal. Why don't you go to the bar only one time a week? Okay.
No,
You don't have
more than that. Don't use me
no,
as
no,
an
no. They
example.
go to your bar 15 times a week. But I'm
Yeah.
saying, do cut back on something. It's not you buy food. The most important thing is love. And you're doing a wonderful thing. And when I hear about, I don't even want to talk about it. When these animals are euthanized, it just breaks my heart, man. It breaks my heart. They're people. They just want love. That's all they want.
Yeah.
So
Well, unfortunately, it's like when, how can you go kill a deer? Well, they're going to starve because there's so many. It's unfortunate that dogs could have 7 to a litter. So
right.
there's how many people, and I got news for you, buddy. You talked about your great, and I have one too, veterinarian, but it's expensive. You go to a veterinarian right now, it's
Yeah.
$200. It's
Yeah. No.
$200.
No, I know.
But there's dog insurance, everybody, and you know what? It's the best $200 you're going to spend because it's right. I mean, look, we're all preaching to the choir. Most people love animals,
Yeah.
and I thought that was a great meme. Here's another one of positivity.
You read that one.
Surprise sex is the best thing to wake up to, unless you're in prison.
Oh,
Talk about raw
hello.
dog.
Shout out to P. Diddy. Shout out to
Oh
P.
my
Diddy.
God! Can
We
you
got
believe this fucking guy? This guy, I guess he was denied bail, and then I guess he tried to not bribe the judge. You know why he was denied bail? He's a flight risk,
flight
bro.
risk. Yeah.
He's out.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's got
Basically,
homes everywhere in the world,
let me
and
explain something to you about him. He wanted to put up $50 million to get out. Okay. First
done.
judge, no. They appealed it. Second judge, no. You're going to stay in jail for 1 year until your trial. So two things are going to happen in jail for this guy. One, because he's P. Diddy, people are going to revere him. Or number two, they're going to fuck with him. They're going
Nah,
to.
he's going to a country club, buddy.
Do me a favor. What you did time in prison?
No, but he's going to go to a country club. He's going to go. He's going to do a
Jail.
country club.
I've
All
had
right.
friends. I've gone down to visit them. The people going to visit the prisoners are scarier than the prisoners. I'm telling you, you don't understand what goes on in there. They fuck with each other. If one guy's in for murder, right? He's got life without parole. He sees you walk in. Oh my God, you're like a sirloin steak. They can't wait to fuck with you, buddy. You don't understand what goes in there, buddy.
I have had friends that go. I've had friends go to prison. I know what goes on in prisons.
I've
Okay.
talked to guards. I have friends that are guards. It's a hell.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, he's in Rikers Island.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the worst places to be.
You think he's Gen Pop? You think he's in the general population right now? He's in a holding cell. No way. No
But
way.
here's the thing: if they don't put him in general, okay, he's going to get so bored and he's going to get so sick of being alone. He'll want to be in the general pop, and then somebody might pop him. That's what happened.
I don't know the guy personally. I don't know anyone's worked with him
God.
personally. I've seen the videos. Obviously, what he did, sketchier guys than you do. The only reason why you go to fucking prison because you want to get in there and work the fucking mess hall. You want to get all the food. Oh my God, look at this. Jesus Christ, Brad. You know what? I'm a more of a street guy than you are. Trust me.
Oh, you're a real street guy.
I'm a street guy. How many Brad? How many fist fights have you been in?
Let me ask you.
Or broken up? How many bar fights have you broken up?
When I was
the only fist fight you ever broke up was at the Jewish B'nai Brit League.
You believe we're on the show 78? He keeps talking. Okay.
So are you. You talked 6 minutes about Dr. Phil.
Look at you, can't stop. Okay, now we go. Was in some fights when I was in at the Tropicana female mud wrestling. I had to break up some fights. I had to get in there, but again, fighting is so stupid because in the end, people get hurt, shot, dead.
Exactly.
It's the split second decision. That's the thing. You got to calm down and you got to take a deep breath.
No one wins a fight. No
It's
one.
kind of like you in the bathroom when you take your break at Shucks. You take a real long, steamy shit. You take a lot of breaths. Oh, get out, get out. I got to get back to the bar.
No. That's what girls
time.
say to you. That's what girls say to you in the bathroom when you walk in there and you're trying to make out with them. Get out, get out. And they're saying, and you say, wait a minute, I haven't put it in yet. Get out, get out.
Now I know what women, when they give birth, what they go through. When I have a steamy one up my ass and I'm trying to get it out, and it's tough with the baby. I'm pushing out the other end.
You think that dialogue sells our show? You really do. That
being
said,
here we go, ladies.
You could catch Mr. Fat Ass taking a dump. Hey, Fat Fuck takes a dump on the Fat Fish podcast. Facebook Live taking a shit. YouTube, DBTV's taking a shit. Roku, Podbean for listeners. TikTok. He's eating, he's shitting, he's talking. Look at the size of his head. He's so fucking big.
Smart guy. I bet people are laughing. That's what we want.
Yeah.
Right?
Well,
they want to listen to you.
You know what? This is what they're laughing at.
Attaboy. $4 million. The city cops say fine. Your farm says not said anyway, but they promise to break their silence soon with a press conference. No, son of a bitch! Will be never seen. Stay tuned.
Great. Let me tell you about Ray Liotta. I've talked about this before. One of the nicest guys. When I was in the 20th Century Fox commissary, he was doing a movie, I think, with Julia Roberts. And so he came in the commissary, and I said to him as he was leaving, "Hey, Ray, what were you doing in that cornfield, man, in Field of Dreams? Were you jerking off to a Playboy?" And he looks at me right in my eyes. He goes, "No, Hustler."
Ah!
One of the best guys. Ray, we miss you, man, every day. He's what a talent. What a talent.
That laughing segment was him reacting to you making love to women.
Or doing this in the bathroom.
This is so great. You get me excited talking about that. All right, changing gears. Brad, this is gonna be a little existential, and we're gonna change up and we can make it funny if we want.
What does that mean? Existential?
We're gonna go outside the realm of what we usually talk about, which is eating, jerking off, taking shits. Adam Sandler, Doctor Phil's an asshole. Shohei Ohtani, way to go, 51-51. Oh, no. Isn't that's what?
By the way, while you're thinking about it, I want to talk about this wonderful thing called Cloudwater. Can I do that? Mark and Barry came up with this unbelievable product called Cloudwater.
Where's mine?
Seltzer. It's really good for your gut. And I have a very large gut. And it's really, really good. I never liked any of this crap. This is really good. Go to Cloudwater Brands, cloudwaterbrands.com. Order yourself a case. And let me tell you something. Use FATFISH20 friends and family discount. That's FATFISH20. You get a nice discount and a box of this wonderful stuff called Cloudwater. You'll thank me in the morning.
None of what we say here on FATFISH.
Peach and mango and green tea. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nothing we say on FATFISH is any indication or any opinions of Shucks Tavern or Johnny Cocktails Entertainment. We're not trying to disrespect anyone in the Japanese culture. I try to learn what congratulations was in Japanese by going to my Rosetta Stone thing, and I effed it up.
By the way,
Brad, I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you. Well, we'll find out. Maybe you can look on your phone and say what's there, because I'm so excited about what that kid did and what it means.
Oh yeah.
And last thing we'll say about that. I've never seen a guy take a standing ovation like he did in the opposing stadium. That was in Miami, and they went nuts. They gave him the calling card and
I
he was standing
know.
ovation. What
Isn't that nice?
is it?
It's
Arigato?
great.
I mean, look at
I'm looking. Oh, there it is. I was right. Thank you, Atigato.
arigato. Well, thank you, Shohei Otani for just actually entertaining me. Great thing, great story to follow. The rest, we understand. Yeah,
Okay.
that's great, Brad.
Thank
Yeah.
you, Shohei.
We're
Shohei,
fact we're fact we're fact checking you, Trump Jr. Make a long story short, Brad. I'm gonna ask you two questions. You go on to any stories you have. Do you believe in ghosts?
yes.
Do you have any ghost stories?
Great story. 1 year. Okay, my grandma. I'm just gonna say, on the 23rd Monday of August at 5:33 a.m. in the morning, 28 years ago, this Monday, my grandma passed away. Okay. I went over, I lived across the street at the time at my condo, and she was living with my parents, and her apartment was across from my parents. So I stayed in the apartment, then I was in my condo, and then my mom. So the night before, I went there before I went to the Tropicana, and I said goodbye. I gave her a kiss, but then she was sleeping the next night, so I didn't get to say anything. But I rubbed her feet. So she passed away, and I was so happy because I saw her, and she was so uncomfortable. She had to get an porta potty and all this stuff. But 1 year to the day that she passed away in 1997. So she passed away August 23rd, August 23rd, 1996 at 5:33 a.m. August 28th, 1997, I was in my condo, and I swear I woke up and I saw my grandma in her house coat looking at me in my bedroom. I swear to God, I'm looking at and she was there, and I was talking to her. I must have talked to her for like 10 minutes, and it was her. I swear to God, the house coat, everything. And then she just says, "I'll see you again. Be a good boy." And then she went away. Yes, they're a ghost. No question about it. What do you like? When you go into they say a haunted house, like the Tropicana. Okay, there's ghosts in the Tropicana, in the building that we had the Tropicana. So I have a lot of ghost stories. I believe in that. The afterlife, all that stuff. How about you?
Well, my stepdad, this wonderful man Neil, just turned 89 years old. Very, very, very
Neil, happy
influential in
birthday.
my life. Married to my mom for many, many years, and he watches the show. Big fan. He was covering the British Open because he was the cameraman and technical director for ABC, and this is back in the 60s. And while they're in England, him and some of the crew decided to go to the oldest cemetery outside of London. I mean, the cemetery house, just remnants of the whole British Empire and its history. He
Oh, by the
goes
way,
there.
what did Neil do in his career? What did he do?
Neil was a cameraman at the time, and then he
Oh,
became a technical director, and he won an Emmy Award for being a technical director on one of
wow.
the greatest sporting events of all time. I'll take a picture of his Emmy. I'm going to see him tomorrow for breakfast. He won an Emmy for the 1980 Miracle on Ice game.
Oh my
He
goodness,
was
he
in the
was
booth for
there.
that, and
Oh,
he,
I love it.
he wonderful career at ABC for 35, 40 years. He goes to the British Open, goes to the cemetery with a couple of cameramen friends of him. I believe Warren Kress and Jim Brooks. I remember three of them. Now this is 1968, and they're looking at and there's this lady in a black chalky white, and she's tending to flowers on all these tombstones. I get chills talking about this. All these tombstones, and she looks so supernatural that Neil says, "You mind if I take a picture with you guys?" And she is, "Oh, I don't mind if you take a picture, but it won't come out." Now they had Polaroids back then, right? So
Right.
she stands in between Ron and Warren Kress, and Neil takes the picture. Seven of them, and when they develop them, you just see Warren and you see Ron Brooks. You never see her.
Wow. Oh,
Whew.
I get chills.
And he
Oh
showed me
no.
the pictures. He showed me the pictures.
Oh
And
my
why
God.
would you? He's not a lie. He's not making that
Right.
shit up. And I've been in my wife and I rented a house in the valley of Mammoth and Burbank, and they said this house, is haunted. And we heard shit. We heard noises
Oh
and
yeah.
laughs,
Yes.
and let's get the fuck out of here. So yeah, I believe there's ghosts, and I don't believe them are bad. I think what they say is like in the movie Ghost with great movie, Demi Moore and
Great
Patrick Swayze,
movie.
rest in
We
peace.
miss you, Patrick.
We miss you. It's a way station. They're trying to get where they can't. It's their purgatory. I believe in ghosts, so we're both one for one. Do you believe in the afterlife?
Yeah, I do. I do. I think some people come back as different things. I think some people go to hell who belong there, and some people go to heaven. And interesting, I always tell people, like our grandmas are having soup at Deli Heaven, and Deli Heaven was a restaurant in Tucson, Arizona, right near the University of Arizona. And that's where my fraternity ZBT, we didn't have a house, so we met at Deli Heaven, and that's where we had our meetings. You know what I'm saying? Our brother, once a week we had the brotherhood, and the whole fraternity met up there, and we had, but it was not like an LA or a New York deli, because of course I had the bagel lox and cream cheese, and I got sick. The lox I got food poisoning. But yeah, Deli Heaven, like our grandmas are up there right now, and I really believe in the afterlife, because things happen where you'll see something and how did that move? Like in the Trop, they told me some stories about some stuff, and they one of the managers was there. And in the 20th Century Fox commissary, one of the maitre d's was there after hours, and he heard all this shit going on upstairs. No one was there, and he heard like chairs moving and all sorts of stuff. Come on, man.
That's the afterlife?
Yes, there's people around. They're invisible. Like, look, the picture. That's a perfect example.
That's a ghost. I mean, see, I'm going to go a little different. Science says no, because no one's ever come back to say, hey, because if people came back and said heaven's so great, like Field of Dreams, there'd be mass suicides, or hell, but I believe your energy. I think your soul, your energy goes somewhere. I don't believe like the great movie with Albert Brooks called Defending Your Life. You go and I don't believe I was a Zulu warrior back in the 1700s, and I came back as a Revolutionary War guy, and then I came back in the 50s as a hippie, and now I'm me. But I believe your energy goes somewhere. That I think the conscience goes somewhere. I don't know if you're reincarnated. I have a hard time thinking that, and I don't want. We'll never know until hopefully 30 years for both of us. I have a hard time thinking it's all over. But science says that it's. I did a podcast with another guy better than you, and we ran a poll, and we got 10,000 people to say 10,000, 86% said no afterlife, and I was mesmerized by that.
Yeah.
And I'm the 14%. Are we living in denial, Brad, by thinking that?
Listen, I am Jewish, but I'm not religious. I'm more spiritual. Okay. I believe in the universe, because I have examples of that. Like, people come into my life or get into my lift. There's no way. Why did you get into my lift now? There's so many other Lyft drivers. I meet people in strange ways. Like, I always ask people, how did you meet your significant other? They'll say, oh, this is what happened. No, that was all meant. The universe created that. Why were you at that restaurant and opened the door for that person? Right? I mean, come on, man. And it's just, I just think there are definitely things that we're going to find out later in life that are happening every day. We go somewhere, you know what I'm saying? I mean, like when I saw my grandma after she passed, I looked at her, I gave her a foot massage, I gave her a kiss, but that wasn't her. That was just a shell of her. You know what I'm saying? Her soul went to heaven.
It's interesting.
What I believe.
And you're look. I wish I mentioned 92. I wish I would have met Nanny Klein, because she reminds me of my grandmother, and they would have had a great time sitting together at Cantor's, or going to the supermarket and squeezing fucking oranges, and then screaming at the goddamn produce manager saying, "How can you sell this shit?" Anyways,
can I have Helen? Can I have 2 coupons for this one coupon?
Oh God. I used to drive my grandmother to 4 different supermarkets. She cut the coupons out this Sunday. You did the same thing.
Yes.
Mayfair and Ralph's and fucking Smith, Gelson's. Oh, hey, here's another thing. I'm going to ask you a question. I recently, my mom passed away last year in February. My dad's been gone. Marvin's been gone 16 years. I see them in my dreams at least 3 times a week.
Yep.
And it's crazy. It's enlightening. I want to go back to sleep. It's like, oh my God. I mean, and it's so I'll give you one that this is another one that's bone chilling. my birthday was Sunday, and I'm a big Raider fan. The Raiders win. So it wasn't Sunday night, but Monday night I'm having a dream, and we're somewhere on the beach, somewhere in a beach house. My mom comes in and goes, "Isn't that great that the Raiders won on your birthday? What are the chances of that happening?" And you ever have a dream where you wake up and you want to get back into it? Well,
Yeah,
yours is
you
all
want to get back to
sexual.
the dream, but
Yeah,
you can't. It's
you
over, right?
can't.
Yeah.
You can't get back in the dream.
Yeah, you want to get back in the dream, find out what happened, right? All right, listen. Dreams, spirituality, afterlife, all that shit. Listen, to each his own. Some people think, oh, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in any of that shit. Blah, blah, blah. That's fine. I respect you, but you got to respect me. This is how I live my life. Listen, I've had 4 near-death experiences in my life. I never shared this on our podcast. First one, I was hit by a car at camp. Me and my friend Danny Saba were trying to get the front seat of the station wagon that took us. I was on Shoop, and we had arts and crafts on one side, and they parked the station wagon on the other side. So I looked at Danny. He looked at me. I go, "I'm getting the front seat." When you're 11 years old, you want to sit in the front seat, right? You want to sit shotgun. So David Kaplan, our counselor, looked left, and he goes, "All right, guys, go. Never look right." Lady hit us at 60 miles an hour. Of course, Danny flew 150 feet in the air. I rolled 150 feet. You know what I mean?
Jesus
we
Christ.
both lived, and that's one. Number 2, caught in a riptide. Sand and Sea Club. My mom was watching me. Got caught in a riptide. Barely got out. I never knew. Now I know. You swim. You're fish. You swim parallel to the
Don't
shore.
swim against it. Don't swim against it. Yeah.
And I didn't know, and I was like, it was in a washing machine. And then,
you almost got shot.
Yeah. And then the big one was, I was held up at a bank machine when I was 22 years old, and the guy shot at me, but I slipped on some grease running away from him, fell on my face, got up right away. But then
I don't mean to laugh, but
I do laugh.
It's funny, you slipped on some
what
grease.
I tell people? I tell them, I go, you know why I lived like in the lift? They go, why did you live? I go, to take you to the airport now. You know what I'm saying? They start laughing. I go, I make a joke because I could have taken one right in the back or in the head. And this guy, by the way, he did it to a lot of people. Him and his buddy got fired from Hughes Aircraft, no prior record, and got addicted to crack cocaine. That's the depression of not having a job. Yeah. But then I went to his sentencing because I was having nightmares, like you talk about. I needed to go and see him put away. And his babies, "Daddy, I love you, Daddy." And I think he got 3 years in state prison, but with overcrowding, maybe 6 months. But I knew one thing about him that no one knew. He robbed robbed women with a knife point, all in Beverly Hills, gunpoint, all this stuff. When he was talking to me, I go, man, this guy needs some fucking dental work. His left front tooth was chipped to the left, and he looked like James Worthy of the Lakers. And he had dreadlocks on. That was a wig. But one thing you can't do in a lineup when they take your mug shot, you don't go to the dentist and get a filling for that chip. But I know.
You know what Brad said to the guy? Before you shoot me, you look like James Worthy. Why the fuck didn't you do the crossover step against Detroit in the finals in '88? I bet you guys, you suck. You should have passed the Magic or Michael Cooper, you fucking moron. What's wrong with you?
And by the way, when I came back, my $40 was still on the ground in the parking lot.
Oh, that makes you so happy. Then you can eat.
At least I got my money back.
You got your food money.
But I want to tell people, if you're ever robbed at gunpoint or knife point, give people whatever they want.
Yeah, give them what.
I'm sorry, sir. Here, take anything you want. You're the man. Please just go. I have kids, and because when these people, like this unbelievable guy, actor, this guy named Wacker, such a nice guy, who's working at a bar downtown. 3:00 in the morning, he's walking one of the waitresses to her car, and they were stealing his catalytic converter. Guy turns around, and he didn't know what was going on. His car was jacked up, and the guy just turned around and shot him right in the chest for no reason. And that's the senseless thing. By the way, I want to ask you this question and tell you something. The crime in LA is at its highest ever. Unbelievable. There are so many guns. There are so many things going on. And in addition, coyotes are everywhere. And you know why? Because of the fires, they have no food. They're coming out of the mountains to find food. So anybody listening to our podcast today, Please keep your pets inside. Watch your pets. Very important. And be vigilant. Please. There are people out there, homeless people walk right up on you. They don't even know what they're doing, and they're going to rob you, hurt you. And then they go, oh, I'm mentally ill. It's just, I'll tell you, LA, I want more cops. You know how they say defund the police? No, let's give more money to the police. The police run in when we're running out. They're heroes. Firemen, heroes.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. I walk Molly because it's so hot here at 4:35 in the morning, and the sun's, obviously it's still dark out, and I carry a golf club, and everyone that I see in all my neighbors are the same thing, laugh at me. They call me Buford Pusser. I tell them I'm walking tall. I carry it because of coyotes.
Oh yeah, yes.
I've seen coyotes on the walk. I live in a residential area, and there's by the hills, and it comes down. I've seen them, and they're scary. I don't mind one, but I've seen 2 or 3. All you gotta do is scream at them, and I'll take that fucking, I will whack them with it because I'm not worried about me. I'm worried about my dog.
Absolutely, no. You have to protect your dog.
Hey, the last thing about I want to ask you this because this is such a great topic. And you wouldn't believe some of the things some of these topics I'm talking with you, I talk to my customers about. It's great conversations. Because the 2 things you don't talk about in the bar is politics and religion. And right now it's brutal with the religious stuff. Everyone wants to, so I get them off that because that's going to start a fight. Do you believe this is some religions are crazy about this. Do you believe in intelligent life on other planets, Brad?
Do I believe in intelligent life on other planets? Yes, I think there are stuff. There are things going on the moon. There's things going on Mars and stuff. And in our lifetime, in my nephew's lifetime, and we're not going to find that out until many, many, many centuries from now. But yeah, I think there's life. I mean, I don't know about.
I think you'll find out sooner. I think if they found. They found that now there's now evidence of water on Mars, which is
right.
subject to life. Yeah. They found a bug on Mars. They found a spider that has 40 legs. That's an alien. That's a Martian. Yeah. Think about that. So I can't stand, some of these religious zealots to say we're only made in God's image. We're the only thing on the card. You're going to tell me that the universe is infinite, and there's so many galaxies that have stars like us, which we are. We're a star. And suns surrounding it, and we're the only thing on the entire universe that has life. I can't believe that.
No, I'm with you. Yeah,
I think it's ignorant
stuff. Yeah, the thing I don't like about religion is when people tell me how to be a Jew. Like, oh, you don't go to shul, or you don't do this, or you don't do that. Listen, stop right there. I would like when I see you walking around on Saturday with your tallis and stuff, walking to synagogue and all that. I don't say, what the hell? Get in my car. What are you walking for? No, that's what you do. That's fine. Listen, I honor that. I believe it. I respect you. But don't tell me how to be a Jew, okay? I've told the story before, but the reason that I became so spiritual is because November 5th, 1977 is my bar mitzvah. I had the 3-piece Pierre Cardin suit on. I had Mark the barber from Encino cut my hair. I'm there. Everything's great. And by the way, the week before I met the Rabbi Zeldin, and he said, Bradley, I'm so proud of you. 8 years of Hebrew school. You're going to be a man on Saturday. 1 week goes by, 10 o'clock, first bar mitzvah. I'm up on the dais with my dad in my suit, all my friends, my grandma, my cousins, everybody's there. I'm so excited. The rabbi's the last to come in, and he's bowing to everybody, comes up on the dais, bows to my dad and me. And then he looks at the cantor and he leans down and he says, what's this kid's name again? Swear to God. Okay. My dad gives a great line. He looks at him. He goes, you want me to get your name right on the check, right? He goes, I have a lot of bar mitzvahs and bat mitzvahs today. Then why don't you have a cheat sheet? And that's when I knew the religion.
I don't care what you are. I don't care what religion you are. You cannot preach it to me, because I think until we get humanity right, we don't respect each other and love each other as humans, because every Jew, every Muslim, every Hindu, every Buddhist, every religious right, Catholic, everyone in this planet eats with their mouth, puts their pants on the same way. Religion's all man-made. We've had so many wars and we've had so much strife over religion, and Hitler wiped out 6 million Jews because they're Jewish. And I still
For
can't
no
fathom
reason.
that. Even
Yep.
though I'm 64 years old last time, I can't fathom the hatred. And until we get humans right, and I brought up about Carl Sagan was a great scientist and wrote the movie Contact, or the book, great movie with Jodie Foster and Matthew
Right.
McConaughey. And there's a line in there, and he says he goes, aliens have come here, but they've never come back because they're too primitive in our thinking. We're always killing. War of the Worlds, the
Right.
War of the Worlds. H.G. Wells. Do you know why the aliens came over and attacked us? Because they lost all the natural resources in their planet. They needed a place to go, right? It was just a
Right.
carbon-based planet. They couldn't understand why humans killed us. We couldn't understand why we killed each other, so they're going to help us do it. Think about that.
Yeah.
You
No,
know,
I
and there's
agree.
war. You said in the last podcast. You said before Deja podcast, and we're get a philosophical here. There's always wars. Always Ukraine, Russia,
Oh,
Israel. Israel, Gaza has always ever since you're
80,
30.
80, the
You're
gangs.
38. You're 38 years old. In your entire 38 years, there's been wars. In my 64 years,
Yeah.
in Jerry and Sandy's lives, they lived through They lived through the Jesus. They lived through World War II when we didn't know what the fuck's going to happen with tyranny. So until we get right with humanity, I know
Yep.
religion is great at finding your path to God, but there's
Right.
one God. I think there's one God, and
No, I listen.
He's over all of us. I'm
Yeah,
not
no,
being a
there's
big
one.
prick.
I always say there's
Call
one
me
God.
Dr. Phil.
He wears different clothes. The one God, the one God we all look up to wears different clothes, but he is the one God we all have. But yeah, no, I listen, I agree with you. And the saddest thing is all these wars, what happens after? I was watching last night about Lyndon B. Johnson on PBS. This guy took over after the tragedy with John F. Kennedy and the Vietnam War. Oh my God. He kept going back, more resources. And in the end, all those people died for what? We get along with Vietnam now. My buddy who does my nails is from Vietnam. It's a wonderful country, but it's so sad because war is stupid. It really is. I mean, this thing in Ukraine, what are you doing, Putin? Little
Well,
Hitler. I mean, no,
I
he
understand that, but
yeah,
you're talking logical.
but he
You're
wants
being
the
logical,
land
Brad,
back
and people aren't logical.
when it was split up. When the Soviet Union was split up, that's what happens. But this asshole, why are you doing it? Because I can.
No,
That's
I'll tell you
all.
why he did it. It's because I talked about it a million times between conversations you and I have had off this podcast. Freud, the id, jealousy, greed, ego, and power. And he saw Ukraine had the most bolstering economy in all of Europe, Starbucks and Applebee's, and tremendous amount of commerce and capitalism. And what the fuck's going on in Russia?
Yeah.
And he was jealous. He wanted it back. He wants that land back. But Zelensky did a great job, and they'll say it's part of us. It's crazy. It's crazy what. And I'll say it again. We're gonna get out of here and say
Yeah.
hello to.
Well, did you say Applebee's? That's one of my favorite restaurants.
We'll say hello to Keith in a second, but let me tell you something.
Yeah.
I always say this, and I got shit at work about it. Women should run this planet. They should.
Yes.
Absolutely, because
Yes. We need
some
a
of these
woman.
men with their little dicks and their big fucking power trips are putting us on the brink of disaster sometimes. I believe it.
The best directors and producers that I had or have been women. My director on Sons of Anarchy, unbelievable. Laura from Curb Your Enthusiasm was a PA 24 years ago and was promoted for the last 2 years of Curb Your Enthusiasm. Executive producer. Women women get things done. Men are assholes. Look at fucking Harvey Weinstein, this piece of shit, pathetic loser. I mean, come on, man. It's time. Let's go. And you know it's going to be great? I'm just talking. It's my opinion only. When Kamala beats Uncle Lumpy Trumpy, it's going to be a woman, and it's going to be a woman of color. Yes. And Uncle Lumpy Trumpy, 2-time loser, but he's already laying the foundation for recount, witch hunt, and blah, 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 all that stuff. So you know what? We're the greatest country in the world. We're a democracy, and I just hope one day, Fish, you're smarter than me, that the instead of the electoral votes, they the count of them determine the president. I wish it was the popular vote. I hope one day it's the popular. The people, they pick the winner and they pick the next president and all the presidents to come, because the founding fathers came up with the electoral vote, right? And I just think that needs to change. But what do I know?
You
I'm
know a
on
lot.
this fucking podcast. What the fuck do I know?
You know a lot. You know a lot. And this has been unbelievable. The banter today is and the going back and forth. And I'm going to take this when I got aroused when you went.
So did I.
I had a hooker look like you back in '85. My little skinny.
No, you understand that hooker was
and
me.
The hooker looked at me and went and said, "What are you going to do with that?" And I go, "I guess satisfy me." Hey, Keith Berman, 11, chemo, nothing. It's like Otani last night, man.
God.
And
Keith,
we shout you out, Keith, because we say it every podcast. And if you're new to this, Keith's my best friend, Craig's first cousin, who's fighting pancreatic cancer, and he's winning, and he's gonna win. And I've never seen a more positive attitude, and he's not in denial. He knows what the outcome could be, but he's every second of his life, he's fighting and he's enjoying. And let me tell you, what's that word you use, Kenohora? This guy's the biggest Mets fan on the planet. The best record in baseball. Hang on, since Memorial Day. You think there's a little symmetry there? There's something going on there.
I know.
Could you imagine the Mets winning the World Series? And they had a shitty start this year. So,
God, and somehow, some way, Keith gets there in that last game.
You get him there's your screenplay. Get Sean White.
That's right. Me and Sean will write it. Oh man, let me tell you some 78 shows, man. They've all been special in their own certain way. And the best thing that ever happened to me is when you said, "Hey, fat man, you want to do a podcast?" I go, first of all, "Who are you?" And I go, "I met you 30 something years ago." I go, "Yeah, maybe. You know what? Let's do it." Best decision I ever made.
I didn't call you fat man. I called you Captain Snacks. You want to get rid of that good-looking broad you have and bring me in?
Lauren's doing great, by the way. I just talked to her. She says hello to you.
Bye, Lauren. She's doing great. Lauren Francesca, big fan of the show. Big fan of her. She's one of the best social influencer and great actresses. We wish her the best. Keith, Nick Pasquale Foundation. Quit bullying young kids. Parents, get on your fucking kids' phones.
Please, Molly Klein, we love you and miss you. Stop bullying. Look at your kids' phones. Get involved in their life. This is wrong. I was bullied as a kid. It's got to stop. Kids are taking their own lives because of bullying. They just can't take it. Please, if you're listening, if we save one life, we've done our job. Please.
Thank you.
78 in the books.
Thank you, Shohei Ohtani, man. Thank you for Shohei Ohtani. What a great year. Aaron Judge, great year.
Yes,
great college football, pro football this weekend.
Go Texas.
And
go Raiders. And
one more thing. Before Dave Lennon takes us out, Steve Kerr and his Golden State Warriors go to camp in about 2 weeks, Brad.
I know.
You got to get him on the show. Got to give him 15 minutes.
I will do my best. Steve is he's one of the greatest. He'll come on. I'll get him and come on one day. But good to see you, Fish. Love you, man. Stay healthy, stay safe, and stay you. All right. Dave Linden.
You've been listening to the Fat Fish Podcast, heard on all your favorite platforms. Until next time.